Hello, good evening, happy Wednesday everybody, and good to have you here. Today I'm going to show you two of the new products. I've got no paper and no card ready, so it's a case of if anybody's online with me today at 9 o'clock, then I will be looking to see what you would like, what colours you'd like, and if there's anything else you'd like me to bring onto the table. So within reason, what I can lay my hands on quickly. Okay, so let me get you down onto the table and just introduce you to the Banners Party Dies. These are two sets. This is a bundle, super duper bundle, and really, really lovely. So first of all, we have the Party Banner Dies, which are these ones. I've never seen packs from Stampin' Up! Come so large. These are, say, my stylish shapes. This is a normal size die pack, and this is the stylish shapes, the Party Banner Dies. So they're really, really massive. And look at these. So I haven't got a ruler with me, just to bear, well, look at the size of the catalogue and look at those. So that is the size of a catalogue page, nearly. Okay, you've got the border around there, but that's virtually a catalogue size. So they are all the banners. I think it's 14, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14 of the dies. So just wait a moment, just come and say hello. Smudge, say hello to everybody. There we go. Off you go. She's going to be... He didn't want me to come through here today. So 14 dies. These are lovely. I have started playing with these already. Hi Lynn, hi Linda. These little holes here are for putting in the corners to be able to, you can cut little washers out. These are the ones that are going to cut the holes. So you can cut the holes in the corner to put string through. If I just show you the other page, there's a banner here. I haven't made anything like this yet, but there's holes in the corner of those which are made by these ones, the 4. And then these are little washers. So you've got 2 strings of 4 here. So they will make little washers so you can put them front and back. So cut 4 for the front, 4, 2 at a time. And then fronts and backs just to reinforce them. If you've got ribbon or string or something like that in there, which are like here, hung in the background here for surprise. Thought that was a really nice idea. And so to go with those, we have, move those that side, we have the Party Alphabet Dies. So it's all about party. Hi Tracy, nice to see you, and Angela. So these ones are Mahusive as well. So these are the same size. You're looking at nearly a catalogue page. Okay, just get those out to distract your eyes away from them. So yeah, you're looking at nearly a catalogue. Look at that for the annual catalogue. I kind of look a little bit upside down, but the alphabets have all been jumbled up, but we have been through them. A, B, C, D, they are all there. We've checked, but they're quite a good size and they're solid, really bold and solid. So I can see this sort of thing being done. I already have something in mind to use this for. So, oops, Daisy, what have I got there? Got a little label on there. Oh, that was a note on the back of that somebody's asked me to do some a class with these. So who else have I got on there? Angela, hi there, lovey. So this is what I'm going to play with tonight. I got an idea in mind, not using the letters today, but using the dies, and I just wanted to run through those with you. Anybody got any preference on papers that we've got to use, or products? I know I'm a floral girl. I do love the Impressions of Bloom from the online exclusive. I was just going to go through the papers. What papers do we have here? So these are all our papers. I've not got that bundle yet. I've got the papers, but not the bundles. So this is like a Christmassy papers. I've got those and these ones, but they're not really time of year. These ones are big florally pieces. The lavender is gorgeous. The wood grains might be nice, actually. They could do a masculine card, as with these ones, the Nests of Winter. So there's some nice things in there to do. I haven't got these brights, the papers here in the colour families. So really, I'm just trying to think what I've got. I've got the green and the golds. So see, we sell lots of samples with the 12 by 12 packs But what about the 6x6 colour sets? I haven't got those, Tracy. I need to get those. These ones here, I haven't got all these ones. I haven't got those. I need to get some of those, particularly the in colour ones. I desperately need to put them on the next order. But this is one of the 4 in colours. Then you've got last year's 24 to 26 in colours and 25 to 27 in colours. So I really want to be getting certainly those ones first. But they're nice colours, and they would then have a theme coming through. You've got 4 designs in each of those. You've got 2 fronts, 2 backs. So 2 designs, but 2 fronts, 2 backs. So you've got 4 on there. So there's a nice little variety if you wanted a particular theme. If you wanted a masculine theme, for instance, you could go along the neutrals. There's a lot of neutrally shades in there. But just choose whichever patterns you particularly like. So I haven't really got... I'm going to just have to... I don't want to use the ones that are down there because I've got a project on the go and I don't want the person to see that. So I can't use those ones. So I might just have to go and have a good old rummage. I'm looking at my wall. I'm thinking, what have I got up there? I've got the cardstock colours in the in colours. How about we go get some lavender back? I might have used that recently, but the lavender, the nice, beautiful lavender papers, we can choose some nice papers within there. So let me just grab some papers. Another idea, actually. I'm just going to pause a moment. There's the lavender, but I have got the celebratory sips. Now, I have cut a lot of these pieces already, but these are the oddments. These aren't actually the full cut out pieces. I can't sit and do all that fussy cutting online because it will take me forever. These are pieces to cut up as well. We'll do that another time. I'll do the lavender for today, but I can see that being nice with the cocktail glasses on. So let's go with lavender. So see what we've got. So the paper colours we've got here. I want to do a tiered layering. So I want to have a base colour. I love shaded spruce. Pretty peacock. And one of the purples. Pretty peacock as a middle layer, and the purples here. And of course we need some white. I have the machine down on the floor here already. Now, one of the important things I like to do with this, choose a nice pattern first. A couple of 6-inch pieces. They are the same paper. Let's use that one. So these papers work lovely with this. I want to have this as a middle layer. I'd like to have a base layer. Which would I like on there? I want that one, or do I want this one? I'd like to have a layer that's something like so, or something like so. A little bit more striking that way. They're quite dull together. This might brighten it up. So I think I might go with those. Get rid of those. And I have white as well. So I'm going to get those letters, alphabet letters out of the way. And let's start. So I want to make a couple of cards. Got some layers in here. So I've got these pieces. They've been used for something else, which is just over half the sheet. So I'm going to see if I can use those up. We might need a couple of them. Put that down. We want a middle layer. So get back to these dies. I'll bring them over. So I'm going to make a shaped card. Okay, using these. But the first thing we have to think about is the size of our base card. So I have one here, cut to size. I want a card that is going to be as near to this as I can. So I want to just lay this on here. There's 14 different sizes. So I'm going to go by one of these out here. I think I can probably go to that layer. Right, that is the width of our card. This is a metric card, so this is the width of the card. So that's going to be my actual base card. So let's just cut a couple of those first. We've got our starting point. Then we're going to have a middle layer, and then we'll have the DSP on the top. And let's bring that one up. So this is our big cut and emboss machine. I was using the magic mat here while I was waiting for some plates to arrive, because they were getting quite wet. Although I still occasionally use some of the old plates, like this one. I'm going to make 2 of these. Hi Irene, nice to see you. It has been a while, definitely. Good to see you back. And you know what? Putting that in a title, new, people, that always brings people out as well. People like to see new stuff. So, just cutting a couple of these. Now, I want to have them exactly the same. They're beautiful size die. They really are. Beautiful set. It's big enough to go, I say, nearly A4 size. The dies obviously don't fit that piece of paper, but they're a little bit smaller. But there's a decent size balance to be made with those. So looking forward to playing with these. So this is the first ones that have been through the machine. So that's those 2. Put that to one side. We might need those again. Now I'm going to come back to this, and I'm going to go the next size inside, next size smallest, and show you how that's going to fit on that die. It's going to be like a layer inside there. So I need one of those, and I'm going to make that in the peacock. That's a scored layer, I don't want that. So I'm going to put this into a corner here. Now what I did think about with these, if depending on what size you're cutting, you could actually get 3 of these across. If not, you can definitely get 2 and then have a smaller die on the end. Okay, so just going to rough cut these and up there. This is for a mid layer, and then that back. And then here I've got both cats running around, so Daddy's gone to bed. They're both here. They're keeping me company, or I'm keeping them company. So I take off those pieces, and there's a middle layer, and then I'm going to have the DSP, which I've put somewhere very, very safely. Where did I just put that? There underneath. I only need the one of that. Now I like to reduce these down when I'm cutting, because if you don't, you get the scratchiness of the plates, you get all this denting bits all over here. Cardstock will show up more than the paper will, but it's just not nice to have that extra added texture on there that isn't very pretty. So I get rid of that excess. So put that on there. Because you've popped that in the comment, Tracy, I will definitely get those on the 6-inch ones on my next order. See, these pieces won't waste. They'll definitely come in useful for something. So I'm going to use the 3 that I've used. I'm going to put over the back there. 1, 2. Oh, you know what I've just done? Silly. Look, I've cut those 2 the same size. That's not what I wanted, was it? I wanted to come down one more level. I'm going to do the next one inside there. Just make that a little bit smaller. Linda, your list is long. These shapes are lovely. I've already got you on a list. You wanted me to do a class and make some cards with these, so you're having a sneak peek already. So that's the smaller size. That's now going to fit inside of that. Look, there we go, and that'll be pretty. So I'm going to put that one to one side, get those out of the way. And what else do we need? Now, because this is going to be a middle layer, we're going to put this on top of here. I'll talk about the base card in a sec, but we're going to put this in here. We are going to be covering up nearly all of that layer, so if you wanted to, you could cut a smaller size, so come back to here and take a few sizes smaller and just pop that in the middle. We're going to gut the middle out of this one. No one's going to see it, so you can make another panel that you can leave in the packet and use on a card another time. So scoot that through. So there's my middle panel, and that's going to have that over the top. No one's going to know there's a big hole in the back. Just going to get that off the plate. So that one I don't need today. I'm just going to put that back in the packet. It can go on the floor. Right, and then we have 2 bases and those 2. So we're going to take the trimmer. Now across the top here, I want on one of the layers, when I cut these, I cut them, they're cutting downwards on a die, so you've got a little bit of a give, so that this is the wrong side. I'm actually going to put 2 wrong sides together. So this is going to be my top layer, that's coming that way. This is my bottom layer, and I'm going to score this at the back here about 1 centimetre, okay, along the back there, like so. And this is going to be the back of my card, like so. Just put a little crease so that you know it's there. Now, the next ones, I just want to show you what we're going to do here. We're going to stick these 2 together. Okay, so I'm going to Tombow. Because we've got a hole in the middle, don't scribble through the middle of your card. Just go around the outside edges on here. Okay, I did that. There's something else recently, and I did a nice big dob in the middle, just like I normally do, and I ended up putting it onto my mat. So there's that one. So that's all nice and secure. So pleased they left these lavender papers in for another season. It's really good. So now we're going to go to the base card here. We've got 2 layers. Now I'm going to crease this over with bone folder. You can have this whatever depth you want. You don't need it to be very long. So these 2 are going to come together, and then we're going to attach it there, and that is our card. So it will go flat to go in an envelope, but this is our hinge mechanism. So I'm going to pop this on here. It makes more sense when I get this glued together. You can do this with any size card, any dies, any die cut shape, even a circle would work. So I'm just stood those together at the bottom, press on there, and just make sure that I'm happy that they're lined up. So they are identical. So you can press on that little piece along the back there if you like, just to press that down. Get that out of the way. And there is my card. There's nothing on the front. You can't see there's a crease, but you can on the back, and that is how your card will stand up. So just like so. Hope that makes sense. Okay, let me just say, excuse me, I'm just going to grab a piece of kitchen roll. And I just realised you can't see me in the corner. That one. No, that's the wrong way. That one, and that one. Hello. Come back again. So this one here is just going to be stuck on here. Now you can put this flat down on here. If you're going to put some embellishments on and you think it's going to be bulky, I'd put this one flat. If you're going to make it fairly flat with maybe just a sentiment and little tiny decoration, then you could put this on foam pads. Today we will go with the flat one. I'm just going to pop that down there, and we can scribble in the middle now. Make sure that's nice and firm down there. So we've actually got 3 layers here. Okay, but how does that look for a beautiful shaped card? So somebody's going to receive that in the post. This is a previous card that I've done, and the envelope is there. So that is literally going to fit nicely in our envelopes. It's a little bit shorter, but that doesn't matter. It's going to fit in there nicely. So they are really, really lovely. Put those on there. I did under here somewhere. I did have. Look at this. I think I used this the other night, did I? I might have done. Certainly used something similar recently. But I've just got this mat underneath here that by coincidence I've got some flowers on. So this is the Pretty Peacock. I might have used this for the Global Inspiration team. I love these flowers. These are gorgeous. I'm not going to use the Blackberry Bliss today. Although, having said that, they would really go, they're picking out the colours in here. They would look really nice. So I will use those just for quickness because we've got some ready cut. So there's going to be a stem on there, some flowers. And I'm going to put a greeting on there as well. So let me just grab the stamp set. I'm surrounded by stamps today. I think I did have that one out earlier. I'm sure I did. on my table. No, it's not that one. It was here. Impressions a bloom I'm looking for. Well, I never. It was here earlier and I must have buried it somewhere. So not a problem. We can find something else to use. I've had some people in here using my studio today, so it's it kind of got tidied up a little bit, unusually. A bit concerned as to where that one is. Anyway, let's get the one of the other ones out. Let's get Simply Said out. Okay, we've got our lovely greetings in here. I know I've shown you this one. It's not going to be the same as these ones. It's a mystery, absolute mystery. So I'm going to grab a block and I'm going to take one of the sentiments. I know that that's actually in that packet. That one's in that packet. So let me... This is the Hello. This is the Thinking of You up there. So they're obviously the ones I used last time, or fairly recently. So I'm going to put these ones back in the packet and we'll come out with another one. It's a different greeting. So I always put my thick plastic in here. I put it back in here now and I cover the stamps to help keep them in position. If they are just loose in here and they come unsticky because they've got some dirt or grease or something on the back, then when you open the case they can ping out or they can fall through the gap here and little pieces will go missing. So do be careful about that. A random piece of card in there. So what shall we put on here? What might look nice? I like this actually, the Just a Note. That's quite a nice one. So I do use that one quite a bit. That's on there. What have we got in our ink colours on there today? No, not what I want. So let's just go and grab the, I think I'll get the Blackberry Bliss because we're going to bring that through. And we want the white scraps. You know me, I love my white scraps. So I have so many of them. Put them on there. So we'll just find a piece that's going to fit a sensible size to fit that stamp. We've got that on there nicely. Whether we're going to make a shape of it or we're just going to... Yeah, that's quite big. That one could look nice. Square one, we'll go with that one I think. Get those out of the way on the bin. And I might try, because this is bringing the colour back through, I'm going to use the Pretty Peacock. One of my favourite colours. Oh, upside down, doesn't matter. Very pretty for a nice non-rectangular card, absolutely. I've done this before, even a circle, you can, if you've got dies and you want a circle shape, any shape, you can actually crease like we've done on the back here. You can take that edge across there and always make a hinge card out of any shape. So if you say you've got some rectangle dies, you can just crease across there, but I normally would go, if a scallop edge, I'd just go in a scallop and just go across the back. If it's a circle, a large circle, and you want to make that shaped card, say for a Christmas pudding for Christmas or something, you can just put it into a machine and just score a line across and that becomes your top of your card. So it's quite easy to do that. I need to just show you a little trick with the inside though. So I'll do that in a sec. Pop those out of the way over there. Okay, smudge come back in here again. I have stylish shapes, so I might see if I can find one of the little ones to cut this from. These have been around for a little while now and they are so versatile. Yes, hello. Nice to join us. Hey. She's had a bit of a groom today, bless her, a little while ago, shortly before I came on air. So helping her so she doesn't have to do so much in her elderly years. So I'm just looking at a size that I think might go. It is an odd shaped card, a different shape. I don't know that I want the square shape with it. Okay. I might like a circle. Let's see if that one. Oh, it's not quite going to fit on there, is it? That one might be too small. Yeah, definitely too small. So I'm going to leave those two out. Use one of those two. I think we're going to miss too much of this. Yeah, the teeth hang over the edge. So I'm going to do this one now. If we don't like it, we'll come back to the circle. Put this one on here. I haven't got any tape out today. Save me getting up again. I'm just going to wing it. Make sure it's nicely in the centre. Carefully place that down so it doesn't move. Yesterday I finished off making two absolutely adorable cards. I am going to, when I finish on here, I'm going to post them. I did take a photo for two people. Yesterday was, I went to our band rehearsal, and yesterday was the National Musical Directors Day. So people who can conduct bands. So there's two of my friends were there last night who are conductors, so I thought it would be nice to let the bands celebrate. So I made two great cards, fabulous. I really just fun ones to make, and they went down pretty well, I think. So I will share those with you because I took some photos. I'm going to put two large ones and two small ones on here. I don't need to be excessive and have four big ones, but I'm going to just put them on there for now. I've not taken the backs off because I don't know where I'm going to position that yet. Could actually have that positioned over the stems. We'll see how we get on. But these are going to be some of the ones I'm going to use on here. I like the way that this brings through the darker colours in here. So we could put one up there. And I do like the smaller images just on their own. This is the colour that's on the base card, but this is the stronger colour. And see what you think. Just play when you've got ones like this. I tend to use my scraps and cut lots of layers, and then you're free to then mix and match where you feel fit. So this is a darker one, so that's that size. That might be too dark. If I put the lighter one in here, that might work, and then the darker one in there. That seems too thick. I think there might be two together. And that one in there like so. I think that might work. I just need some leaves. I haven't got any leaves cut. So I need that stamp set, don't I, to cut my leaves. You know why I can't find it? Because I've buried it. Oops. I've just knocked the bin over. So these are all the pieces I've just cut. And there is my stamp set. Just going to see if there was a greeting in here that was appropriate. See, I could just leave that one to one side and do a thanks. But I do like that that's filling a little bit of a gap. So let's cut some leaves and see where we go, I think. So again, I'm going to take some little pieces of the peacock. And I'm going to cut a liner to go inside. And a little piece here. So just take, there's two. Take one of those, corner to corner. Just cut that across. There, that should be enough. Of course, these ones do all go through. The banners won't go through on your mini machine. Everything else would. So just to save a little bit of arm muscle. They'll just fall out of there nicely. There you go. You can use your brush, your die brush, just to rub through there, and then the pokey tool on the end just to help them loosen. There we go, that should be fine. So bring that card back. Now what I tend to do with these, I tend to snip them into individual leaves because you can tuck these underneath. So just snip those off. I do need glasses, but I've got a feeling I've left them in the other room. You can cut up the side of those, either side of the stems. There were some individual ones in there as well, actually, you could use, but these ones work just as well, cutting it all in one. There we go. So, if I think I like where I've put that, place that on there. She says, with some leaves put on there as well, I think that will be fine. Okay, look, I'm going to stick some of these down. I'm going to start by putting this one down. Just take my tweezers and Tombow. Just going to run this little tiny dot on the end. I know where that one piece is, and then I just wipe that nozzle just down there, just to catch in a few places. It doesn't have to be completely covered. I'm going to place that down. I've got a white piece of card in there. Just place that down like so. Take that piece out. There we go. So I'm going to place these on here. You've seen me do these little flowers before, so I didn't really want to. They were just surplus ones on the table. It just happened to work well for me. Come back and do the middles. So tonight's exercise really was about showing you the dies and showing how you can make different shapes with them. You have a little bit of wiggle room on here with regards to the spacing, so you can have them right on the ends of the prongs, or you can bring them down so the prong is right at the top here if you wanted them shorter. Quite flexible. So I use the corner of the Tombow just there, just to make sure that they don't go flat, and then Stampin' Dimensionals back again. So the little mini ones, I'm just going to put one in the centre of each. One in there, push it down. There we go. Take the backs off, and then we can just pop those flowers, the centres on there. So we'll do this one on there. It just raises that centrepiece up a little bit. The detail on here is just incredible. If I hold that up to the screen, you should be able to see that on there. The punch for the leaves is on the shelf. Yeah, I've used that. I was using that the other day, actually, the bow punch. The bow punch is fabulous, and it is on half price at the moment still. It was available the other day. I just had 3 customers ordered that, and you know what? These ones are quite long. The ones in here, no, I'll use the skinny ones. They're just, the other ones are a little bit fatter, but a little bit shorter, so they can just go up the branch there. Just put a couple on that, dot that over the edge, and coming up there, and a skinnier one there. Just put that one down here. Just have a little bit of artistic license, just pop them wherever you wish to. And I'm just running them up against the stem. Because there is detail down the centre there, they will split apart, so you can see daylight through, but you can squish them together if you don't want that to happen. And those two can go back on my mat for future. That's out of the way. And there's our greeting. So we've got the greeting here, and we could just pop that down this corner. Yeah, we could put it where we want it. If you had a long, thin one, I'd be inclined to put it over there. But I think that's just going to sit nicely quite there. So I'll take those off. We're actually going to be done a little bit earlier tonight. Into that corner. Just a note, is one of those useful greetings that you can just have for all occasions. Just a note to say, it could be to say happy birthday or to get well soon. just because, anything really, just to send a little note. So in the liner here, you will see that this piece now, because we've scored here, this piece here is now smaller than the die would have been inside. So I need to cut a white liner. Some white there, that's the thick. So I need to go down on my banners just a few sizes. So these ones here, we've actually used these 3 big ones, and that was the one just to use some waste. So I want to go down just a few sizes to come on the inside of this one. So we can try this a little bit. See whether that one, in fact that one, look, that one's going to fit perfectly. What I did when I was looking at them earlier, I actually had one of the bigger ones, so but this one will work better because it's going to give you a nice border around it. I trimmed the other one down, but this one you wouldn't have to, so I'm going to use that size. One piece of white. Run that through. I think we can decorate it a little bit with a piece of the Designer Series paper, make it look pretty. So just need that centerpiece. That goes with the dies, that goes with those. So we're going to pop this one in the centre, but before we do, I'm going to take a piece of sponge I used earlier on a different project, and I just give it a haircut. This is just cheap bath sponge, and I just give it a haircut and chuck this piece away. I used to wash them, but then that just proves silly. And they're so cheap as chips, it's just as easy to do that. So I'm going to use one of the purples we used. I want a peacock just to bring that colour from the inside again. I think I might. No, Highland Heather. Same as the cardstock. Now, when I do this, I do recommend you take it away from your project. If you've got a piece of kitchen roll, you can just pop that on there to catch any splatters. You don't want to do your splatters over your project. So I'm just dabbing it on there and just fluffing that edge a little bit. Hold it fairly firmly. You can make it as dark or as light as you like, just to give that a little fluffy edge. You're going to go around all the sides. I'm going to say all 4, but there's actually a little, with the banner, there's an extra little bit there. Okay, they are an expensive purchase, Linda, so if you don't want them immediately, it's a bundle, so you can get the letters and the banners together. If you don't care for the letters, then yeah, that's fine, just buy the banners on their own. But there is a 10% off buying both of them together. So it is a considered purchase, so it might be something you want to put on your birthday or Christmas list. And of course, if you have a large purchase, the best way to do that is the offer. There's an offer on this month for joining Stampin' Up and just buying your own purchases at a discount. Okay, so if you wanted to do that, then you could just drop me a line or give me a ring, and I can tell you how that works. The other way, of course, is to wait. We don't know. We've always had Celebration, but Celebration is a good time for those larger purchases. So if you asked for money, I know it's a long way off still, but if you ask for vouchers, or I give gift vouchers for Christmas, then you can spend them in January for those larger purchases. And then several people, relatives, friends might want to just contribute to that, so that gives you can put them all together and make your purchase and get something for free in Celebration. So there's my little just fluffed edges, just to take the harshness off the edge of the white. I'm going to just stick that one in there. Scribble in the middle. I've had the touch accidents. The touch accidents. Is that the fluff from your not removing your project away? Especially with the darker inks. Yeah, it really does make a difference. So that piece we had earlier, unfortunately, was going down the page. So I'm going to look to see if we've got a little scrap in here I can use to go across. And I think I might be able to find one in here. So we're looking at these little remnants. What have we got here? The different papers, different designs, aren't they? Would any of those go across that wood? Oh, look at that, that wood. Different paper. I do prefer to use the same one. So let's just see. That's the one. We can use a piece of that. Put those away. Love that paper. It's one of my favourites. So I am just going to quickly turn this over and mark the edge of that with a pencil. So that is where we want to cut. I put the little trimmer away. I was a good girl. So I'm going to just take that. And I'm going to line this up, that pencil mark, I'm going to line it up on the bottom here in my cutting track. So I know exactly where I'm cutting. That can go away. And this piece should be the width. I'm just going to double check. There's the width, but except we're going to use this side. And I'm just going to cut whatever width you want. I'm going to cut a little strip on there. So maybe I want that to be maybe 1.5 centimetres, half an inch. So hold it down firmly so it doesn't move, especially when you've got smaller pieces. And then that can come along there like so. Okay, and I might like to do one more little adjustment. And the piece of this, I can do the same with this, just mark that edge on there. But I'm going to cut this just to be, that was 1.5 centimetres, so I'm going to go 2 centimetres. So it's slightly wider. And then here's my little pencil mark here. So I'm going to put that in the cutting track and cut that down. That little piece can go in the rubbish. Yes, I do throw things away occasionally. So that's going to come on there. So the paper can just sit in the middle there. Just through the centre. And that can just give a little bit of detail on there. Then you've got a smaller piece to write and it just gives a bit of decoration. So let's get those stuck together and down and we're finished. I think, oh, gems maybe. Just put some little gems. We'll butt that up to the edge. Make sure it's nice and straight. Pick that up and then that's going to go in there. You can see that on there, can't you? Whatever position you want that to go, higher. You put it across the top or you can put it down the bottom. A little bit of Tombow, don't need much of it. See, that could go up there, but I think it balances better at the bottom. And of course, make sure that your flowers are upright. Okay, a little bit of decoration. So there's the front, there's the inside, and I'll have some gems here. Has to be the painted lavender ones, doesn't it? The purple ones. So where would I like these? I think it's going to have to be the 3 down here. Sometimes I put one in the centre. I'll just lift one and show you. Oh, you could do with coming in a little bit closer, couldn't you? You've been a long way away from my screen all night. There we go. That might be too harsh on the colour, I think. Maybe that one. And then a couple of little ones. So large and 2 smalls. I like those in a corner, just as a little trio. Just gives a little bit of detail on there, doesn't it? A bit crooked, there we go. So there's the finished card, giving you a lovely shape. Not moving the card away when I do my edges. Ah, yes. Yes, it's, yeah, dropping things on an ink pad is not good. And like I said, if you fluff that edge with your sponge, and you're fluffing, especially if it's over a white surface, you will actually get little splatters, little very delicate splatters of ink on your project. So sometimes we don't want that. There you go. Yeah, oval shape in the dies. This was the die set I was looking for that was open on my desk. Impressions of Bloom. I have used. Somebody asked me on a blog hop recently. A blog. A lot. I know. I think it was in the global group. They said, had I used the stamps with the dies? I have used those initially when we first had them. There we go, Smudge. But these dies, these ovals in here are absolutely gorgeous. So you've got two. You've got one that makes the frame. It cuts on the inside and the outside and leaves those little dots. And then this one just cuts the plain piece out. Okay, I tape these together. I think I've said on a previous live, keep them taped together with Scotch tape. So all of these little pieces, they're in a pair. So that one's just slipped a little bit. Move that along. But all of these help to keep them ready to use. You just push them out through the side here, or take your picked needle on there, and then you can keep them together. It saves them getting lost. So that's those ones. So that is the Impressions of Bloom. That flower set you can use in any colours, so you don't have to have the papers that went with it. But I think that's a really sweet little card. I do like that. You can put 3 blooms on there if you like. You can put an extra stem. There is this plain stem in there, so this is a separate single strand as well. And then on the inside we have our little decoration in there. Okay, so I hope you like that. I just was desperate to show you the die shapes, and I'm really pleased with those. So lots of different ways to use them, and of course with dies with the holes in the corner, and thread some string on. There will be other projects coming up with that, trust me, there will. This is just my first outing, just using it and christening it. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you all soon. And I'll bring you back to me. Just a sec, take that off and bring you over. There we go, I'm back again. Yes, Mudge is just running around the table here somewhere opposite me. So she might come through again in a sec. So I'll say cheerio and thanks for joining me. And I hope you like the card, and I will see you again soon. I will see you on Sunday. I will be out during the afternoon, but I will definitely be home by 8 o'clock. So that would be great. And there, bless her. There you want to just. Smudge is trying to say hello. She's inspecting the card. Look, there she is. Do you approve? Yeah? Okay, then that's fine. Yes, Smudge approves. There we go. Seal of approval. So I will say cheerio and take care, and see you again soon.